Welcome back to Beg, Borrow, Steal, where assistant manager Scott and fitness coach Jackie are just loading up the team bus. We've got a journey over to Madrid to take on Real, but how much is riding on this game? Is European qualification on the line? We best get into the episode and show you. So I'm not quite sure just how many of us would have been expecting this in Season 2 as a La Liga club, but we have already secured qualification for the big one. That's right, the Champions League. We've still got 3 games of the season left, but we are a comfortable distance ahead of the teams down in 5th and 6th place. It means that next season, little Europa, who started out in the 4th tier of Spanish football and have made it all the way to the top, without spending any money on transfers or any money on loans, well, it means that we will be competing against the biggest clubs in Europe for a short period of time in the biggest competition that UEFA run. Shall we show you that run of form? Because it has been pretty impressive, apart from one major blip. So at the start of our last episode, I was bemoaning the fact that we never played too well against the teams towards the bottom of the table, and then we effortlessly cruised past Tenerife 3-0. Well, in our next game, my forecasts were accurate because we played Getafe, another team towards the bottom of the table. They went 2-0 up. We pulled a goal back, tried to get back into the game, but then they went 3-1 back. We got another consolation goal, but could not find an equaliser. And I did start to worry a little bit that we might have a faltering climax to the season. But in the next 3 games, we were incredibly good. Against Levante at home, we beat them 5-0. Brendan McComb scored. We'll show you his form in a moment. He's completed a Spanish language course and we've sent him on a second one. And since he learns the lingo, he has been a different player to what he was when we first brought him in. Pacheco scored a goal. Kieran Murray, another player that's still settling in, but he's finding the back of the net regularly. He scored, as did this loan signing that we did not expect too much from when we brought him in. He was basically just to provide a little bit of cover and start one game while we sent the rest of the squad on a much-earned holiday. But he's now scored 5 goals in 7 games and got a couple of assists and a couple of Player of the Match awards and an average rating of 7.66. He's just helped us to get over the line. In the next game, we beat Cadiz. We weren't quite as impressive in this game, but we were 2-0 up. They got a goal back about halfway through the second half. But we never looked in danger, really, of conceding a second. And then in the next game, another home tie. We were again superb. We played Celta Vigo, a club that finished above us in the European places last season. And it was the Brendan McComb show. He got us underway. Ida scored a goal. McComb got his second. Rossi came on as a sub and converted a penalty before McComb completed his hat-trick. And who, of course, provided the assist for him on as a substitute? It is Lander, of course. This guy's middle name should be Weight of Pass. He just sees these little opportunities to feed the strikers in. He plays the most delectable through balls of any player in our squad, and it completed a rather nice little victory. So we're on a good run of form. That result against Getafe was our only defeat, stretching all the way back to the end of January, where it looked like we might be starting to struggle, but we have performed well. I think we should probably show you just how good things are going in the league table. So this is why Champions League qualification is already sealed. We've got 9 points left to play for, and we are 10 points ahead of Athletic Bilbao and 11 points clear of Atletico Madrid. So we are home and hosed. There is a chance we might still close down and take over Valencia and finish 3rd in the table. Today we're up against Real Madrid. If we were to win that game, we'd be on 74 points and they'd be on 78. Would that put us in the title hunt? Absolutely not. Barcelona on the same number of points, and they've got quite a comfortable run into the end of the season. I think they're in action against Granada today, and I think they also play 2 other teams in the bottom half of the table. So there's no way that we are going to seal a surprise title, but qualifying for the Champions League, I think, is achievement enough. But to the comments section, because I think we need your feedback. Is this as far as you think we can take Europa. Remember, we've got the stipulation of spending no money on transfers. Have we hit our ceiling, or do you think we could go on for another couple of seasons and see whether we could secure a trophy? I don't believe it would be the Champions League. I still think we'd be a long way off from trying to challenge Barcelona and Real Madrid for a La Liga title. But could we win a Copa del Rey? Could we drop into the UEFA Cup perhaps, or the Europa League, and maybe try and seal that title? Do you think we could try and bring silverware to Europa? Or without spending any money on transfers, do you think a one-season qualification for the Champions League spots is as good as we can muster? Let us know down in the comments. Let's show you the team that we're going to send out to play Real Madrid today in their own stadium. So we've got a couple of players missing for today's game, one through injury and one through suspension. Our centre-half Koulibaly is missing, so Corriendaba's coming in for a rare appearance. And Pacheco is missing as well. And the fact that Pacheco is one of our key men is a huge surprise, because when we bought him into the club, he didn't really feature that often as a player for us down in the second division. He was absolutely no part of my plans in La Liga, but look at him now. He's going to produce back-to-back displays of 7.21 average ratings for a player that's maybe third-tier quality at best. He's actually one of our key men. Johnny's going to deputise for him today, but I think the two players to bring you up to date on are McComb and Cordoba. We'll start with Cordoba, not playing great as of late, but he's now branded with a media description of a wonder kid, our first of that ilk, and he's only 20 years old. He's meant to be worth as much as £32 million. Hopefully he'll keep on improving. He's not been anywhere near the level that he set last season. He's not produced the stats that he achieved last campaign. He's only 20 years old. Still a crucial player for us, but a player that has really come to the fore is Brendan McComb. He's only been with us for a year. 13 goals in 29 appearances may not look that impressive, but have a look at his form over the last 9 games. He's now rattled in 12 goals in that time. He's scored in each of his last 5 appearances, and in 3 of those games he's either scored a brace or a hat-trick, as he did against Celta Vigo in the last game. So I think now that he is starting to settle in, he is truly becoming the striker that we hoped he might be. And next season I have high hopes that he might be one of the leading lights in La Liga. There is a caveat though. He is wanted by a club, and it is a big club in the form of Blackburn Rovers. Hopefully, if we're offering Champions League football, we might be able to ward off their attentions. But another element to this save, if we do continue it in pursuit of a trophy, is that I think lots of clubs might start sniffing around our talents in the not-so-distant future. We'll worry about that when we get to the summer transfer window. Today, we're worried about taking on Real Madrid. This is not going to be easy, but if we could seal a surprise victory, we could climb from 4th to 3rd with a couple more wins. We're underway. Quite the impressive stadium we're playing in as well, and quite the impressive lineup Real Madrid are putting out against us today. They've got Vinicius Jr. as their striker, players like Downsgaard in the squad as well. Gonna be a tough old little encounter, this one for us, but I think we've earned the right for these kind of free hits. We've been superb this season, and we've pulled off a couple of surprises over the last 2 campaigns. You never know. There could be another little surprise in the offing today. But I think this one's going to be a difficult one for us. Don't think we've beaten the big 2 away from home so far. We have beaten Barcelona and Real Madrid at our own ground. Both of those were pretty lucky wins as well, to be brutally honest. But we've not gone to either the Camp Nou or to the Bernabeu and secured even a point as of yet. You never know, today could be the day we break the duck. Morale is good, form is good. McComb nearly got in. I'm assuming that is Courtois still in goal. And we have actually got opened up at the other end, and it's Barossi that actually comes to our rescue after McComb almost got on the end of a through ball to slot home. Having a striker up front in the kind of form that McComb is in, by the way, does give us a little bit of confidence. We've just been able to turn to him during games when maybe we've not been quite at our best, and he's just managed to run through and smash us a goal home in order to try and keep us in contention. And Ida has also been a superb foil for him as well. McComb has also learnt a player trait that we've been training him. He's a good dribbler, he's got good agility, great pace and acceleration. So we're getting him to run through the middle with more regularity, trying to get him to take on defenders. And he has done a good job learning that trait, and I think we might try and get him to learn another one perhaps at the start of next season. Maybe trying to break the offside trap with regularity, because again, that suits the pace and the physical nature that he brings to the table. We're relying on Barossi at the moment. They've got in, worryingly, for the second or maybe the third time. And that was another little warning shot for us. We are looking pretty threatening on the break, but they are opening us up far too easily at the back. If we do continue in the pursuit of trophies with Europa, I do believe it is the defence that is going to need the most surgery. I think Barossi is actually turning into a reasonable goalkeeper now. I'm happy with the strikers that we've got. Rossi is going to be 32, I think, now. So maybe we need to try and find a second striker to play alongside McComb. Midfield-wise, not only am I happy with our starting midfielders, I'm happy with our backup midfielders as well. And there is an extra one joining us in the summer. But maybe it's in defence where we need to try and strengthen, certainly at fullback, both fullback positions. Also, I think another centre-half to play with Koulibaly would be useful for us as well. It's becoming a little bit of an onslaught, to be honest now. We're just going to pause the game. We're going to shout something out. Shall we try and encourage them? Don't know whether that's the right shout to throw out there. It's helped with the body language. Will it help nurse us through to half-time? Real Madrid, by those match stats, probably will be aggrieved that they haven't got a goal before we reach the half-time interval. We've not really done an awful lot in the second half of that first period. Time to try and G up the troops at 0-0 at half-time. There is a chance. So having praised our front two players for their recent form, neither of them played well in that first half. They were probably a little bit isolated up there with the amount of defending that we've had to do. But, well, McComb certainly raced through and had a chance. So we need to try and get a little bit more out of him and Ida in this second period. I think if we are going to get a point, looking at that first half, I think we'd need to score a goal in order to try and secure a draw, because I don't see us keeping a clean sheet for a second 45 if we're as open as we were in that first period. We're opening the second half with a highlight as well. We've got the ball through to McComb. He's won it. He's had an effort. That's not the typical kind of goal that he scores. He's more a race onto a through ball and finish kind of striker. But he did well to harass the defender, win the ball back, and get an effort on goal. I think on 60 minutes we're going to have to make a change. It could well be in midfield, you know, where Kieran Murray is having a pretty desperate game. Do we bring on Landa? I'm always tempted to bring on Landa for the big games. Oh, goodness me, and we're almost having to bring him on to try and help us get an equaliser, because there were two chances for Madrid to score there. We got lucky clearing them off the line. Ida continues to go forward, though. Got a ball into the box. It's not led to a chance, and they are having a look to see whether that went over the line. I think we've just hooked it clear in time. Got away with one there. We are going to get to 60 minutes. Now is the time to make some changes. Fresh legs, definitely a midfielder, maybe a striker too. And then we got half an hour to try and see this game out. Okay, 20 minutes left. We've made those changes. Rossi comes on up front in place of Ida. And of course we went with Landa. Who else would you go for? Although not as the central midfielder on attack, we move Cordoba out to fill that role. Landa comes in as the Carrilero, maybe playing that little bit deeper. He might be able to do one of those through balls and maybe fashion out a chance for one of his strikers. However, we've given the ball away. Casemiro and Camavinga are combining. Damsgaard leaves his man for dead. And he has dinked one over the bar. I thought for sure that was going to be the goal that they scored. We've got 8 minutes left now, 7 minutes left. I think we need to make one more change. Where on earth are we going to make it? Cordoba is now actually struggling a little bit. I think Milanese is the man that's going to come on, and maybe we will just allow Lander to stretch his creative license. We've got, 7 minutes to try and hang on. We've done absolutely nothing in this second half. Are Madrid going to get a late chance? We're now on 87. We're now on 88. We're racing towards the 90-minute mark. I will take a point. I realise it's not been the most shot-ridden game to try and bring you back for, but 0-0 away at Real Madrid is no bad result. Well done, lads. You've proved a lot of people wrong, your manager included. I thought we'd lose 2 or 3-0 today, but they've managed to eke out a point. They got incredibly lucky, I think. That point says more to the wastefulness of Real Madrid than it does the resilience of us, but it is another good point earned, and we've got just 2 games left till the end of the season, and we have done a pretty decent job this campaign. Don't forget to let me know down in the comments, how much further do you think we can take the club? Do you think there is a trophy somewhere in our future? And we'll be back for the final day of the season. It's another big tie. We'll be playing Athletic Bilbao. You never know. 3rd place could still be on the line, but it's going to take Valencia dropping some points if that's going to be the case.